What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a good Tuesday. Got just a small slate, but there's going to be a lot of information. This is a really tough week for DFS because you've got guys who are going to sit because there's trade rumors. You've got guys that are, and we just have a million questionable tags tonight. So going through it, like the obvious plays for me, like I like LeBron is expensive on DraftKings. I don't care. I believe he will break the scoring record tonight, and I want to play LeBron, and I want to play Jokic, and we don't have great value. Now, we could have some value open up. DeRozan, the midday downgrade to questionable is definitely a little curious, and I would usually more times than not imagine that he's out in this spot, which gives a boost to the obvious Vooch and Levine, but also would boost guys like Kobe White, Caruso, if he plays, who may not play because he's on the trade block, and Desonmu as well. And even Andre Drummond, oddly enough, if both Caruso and he are out, and there's definitely blowout possibilities in Memphis tonight. So you might see Drummond play a bunch of minutes again if that happens. So things to look out for. Jokic probable. I mean, LeBron's going to play. Brandon Ingram, technically questionable, but he's probable. Jamal Murray is the other big piece of news. It's another one that was a midday downgrade to questionable, but for injury management. And he did miss the last game, which was on Sunday. So I'm not exactly sure what that means. He's been unbelievable. Like, I mean, this is the Jamal Murray, like this is the best Jamal Murray has been in a couple of years. Well, maybe we haven't had him, but he's been unbelievable when he's played. If he's out, I do think that opens some things up. You also have legit Q tags on Rudy Gobert and Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson is looking to be a pretty popular play at his price, and I like him at his price. I just want to remind everybody that the last game against this same team, he started playing, and when you have back spasms and they act up, man, you're gonna have a hard time. So he only played the 13 minutes, took himself out, and he was out for the rest of the game. I do think there's some danger with that with Kyle Anderson. So, and also if Anderson or Gobert are out, obviously the slate changes. So the longer you can delay, the better off you are. So I'm going to start off with what I'm doing on DraftKings. My original lineup is basically the one I posted on the site. So I don't really have a whole lot of changes. Guys, fire on in questions and thoughts and say what's up, and I'll get to everything. I'm just going to go through what I'm doing. Right now, I'm making some very uncomfortable guys who are position place holders more than anything else. But like Taurean Prince, who would get a boost if either Gobert or especially Anderson are out. So I think Taurean Prince is one of the value pieces you can use. We all know how frustrating it is to roster Aaron Wiggins, excuse me. I always want to point out that a week ago, he was like 60% owned on a 10-game slate like this at 3,600. Well, I don't expect him to get there all the time. He put up 28 in the last game. I know he shot 8 of 10. He put up 24 a little while back. If I can get 20s out of these guys and allow me to play LeBron and Jokic, who I like a ton, I think I'm going to take a shot. The other one, unfortunately, is in the first game, and that's Jalen Suggs. I think you're going to see his minutes wobble a little bit from game to game, but he does a lot of stuff on the court, and he's, with that second unit, the usage is higher, more steals, more assists. I do think Jalen Suggs is another uncomfortable one that I'm using. And then there's the obvious, we'll have 100% on DraftKings, Sumner and Cam Thomas. FanDuel, the builds are a little different. I still have no problem with Cam Thomas, but I'm having a harder time getting to him because of some of the other pricing I like. Still really like Ingram, like McCollum a lot better on FanDuel. Jalen Brunson makes a lot more sense to me on FanDuel. Still playing Sumner. I think Zach LaVine at 7,700. He's got outs even if DeRozan does play. And if DeRozan doesn't play, you could switch LaVine always over to Ingram. But I'm actually going to put LaVine a little bit ahead of Ingram because of the potential of DeRozan sitting out. I have Herb Jones and Quentin Grimes in my first big build, along with John Collins and Xavier Tillman on FanDuel. I don't feel great about any of those plays. That mid-range is odd. Cam Johnson doesn't really do anything but score, and he's 5,100, and his minutes have been fluctuating, and Devin Booker's back. So I can't really figure out what to do there. Grimes is going to play the minutes, so I guess it's okay, but I also am playing Brunson in that lineup, and we know Grimes' ceiling is going to be hard to reach most of the time. I do think this is a good matchup because you got a team that turns the ball over a lot, which, Grimes gets a few steals on FanDuel. That's 9 points. That's not nothing to sneeze at. So, those are sort of the general ways that I'm building today. But I have 100% LeBron. I'll have 100% Sumner, and I'll have like 90% Cam Thomas. That's what I'm doing. I think Murray is unlikely to play tonight. So I'm treating Murray and DeRozan like they're both going to be out. The thing with Murray being out is, okay, so that brings up a bunch of different guys. What can we do? One, it makes Jokic a better play. That's the first obvious step. Michael Porter Jr. would be definitely in play, even though the price is not ideal. Bruce Brown has been really good at times in this spot and can get there in matchups even when Murray does play. So I think Bruce Brown is probably the one I would give the biggest boost to of the cheaper guys, but I do think it's a boost for Jokic and Porter as well. I guess that's the way I would go. Jokic, Brown, Porter would be the ones getting the biggest bumps for me. But don't be surprised if you see something weird happening, like Christian Braun starting or something, and then that might make Christian Braun may end up being the right value piece. He's actually played really well for them in the minutes that he's played. Without Murray the other night, he played 33 minutes, had 28 fantasy points. I think that's something that we could keep our eye on and potentially use him as well. So obviously you'd like him starting, but even without starting, I think that there's still an argument to play him just because they've shown that they will give him minutes. You look at the last two games, 33 and 32 minutes. I know some guys were out, but if we're thinking Murray's going to be out, maybe he's the guy we can use as another spend down. Would be Christian Braun. I think that's actually pretty reasonable. The other one who some people have asked me about today is Kankar. I don't think I would do it with just Murray out because Gordon was out in a couple of the games that Kankar had big games. So I think I would need another guy out probably, unfortunately. But yeah, definitely makes the Nuggets more interesting. And like without, the DeRozan thing is interesting, but just as interesting is Caruso, who would be a good play. But on the trade market, and there's a lot of rumors going on about him right now. Why risk him getting injured? I think that would be a logical thing for the Bulls to take. Kobe White played 33 minutes last night, partly because they blew him out in the second half. Partly he was helped be the part of the reason why. So he's another one we could potentially look at for value if we don't have DeRozan along with the Sunmu. And I like Levine and Vooch a little better on FanDuel, where they're a little more reasonable. Jokic just what? So that's weird. Okay, so did Jokic really his project? So you're saying on Prize Picks his point bet went from 25.5 to 20.5? Well, first of all, if Jokic's point bet is 20.5, you should always take it. I don't even understand how that's possible. Like, why would that happen? Like, what would happen? I mean, did they? I don't even know what would happen to make Jokic, to make that the case for Jokic. I honestly can't figure that out. Yeah, I mean, he's been over 20 points in what? I want to say like 16 out of 20. I don't even understand that. So I don't know. That's really weird. So just make the bet right away. That's the only thing I could suggest to doing. I'm not going to let a site like Prize Picks just determine anything because I don't think they have any information that I don't. They're going to react to Vegas lines and things like that. And there's no reason, there's no logical reason why Jokic would ever play in a game and then have his points drop 5 points. There's just no logical reason. So if you have that, you see that bet, if I wasn't on air right now, first thing I would be doing is be putting a couple $100 on that bet. It's the right thing to do every time. It doesn't matter what happens tonight. It's just about the long term. You kind of have to always do it. All right. What else do we have here? It looks like the questions are pretty light. It's they're discounted. Thank you, Kobe, because I have no idea what was happening there for a minute. So that's not a real thing. Okay. I appreciate that. Kobe helped me out. So that really means absolutely nothing. Still, you want to take that bet though. They give you the free square. Okay, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Because I've done Prize Picks a few times, but I haven't done the boosting things, and it was a while. Like I don't do it that much. So, the free play. Okay, I got you. But I still don't understand why it's not really free if they're making it 20.5. It's not like the half a yard they make the quarterbacks throw for. I don't see Murray as doubtful either. I just pretend that midday downgrades the guys are going to be out. That's unless they're certain guys. So as of right now, I would lean more in that favor. the thing is, like, you can't, like, the problem is, can you try to get away with playing like a Christian Braun anyway, who literally may play like 10 minutes? That's a really risky thing. But without, I do think, because Jokic basically becomes the point guard and Braun would also play minutes with Bruce Brown, who could run at some point. As can Aaron Gordon, by the way. That's kind of interesting. So I do think speculating on this stuff is valuable tonight, because you don't have decisions you're going to be able to make later. And it can't be, oh, damn, oh, we didn't know about this. Like, the early information. Oh, we also have DeJounte Murray questionable. We'll know about that one earlier. Obviously, I'd love Trae Young and probably Bogdanovich and Collins. Collins doesn't get much of a boost, but I like him enough anyway. Nets bench value. I don't know how to analyze the Nets bench value when we have no idea who's starting for the Nets. So I can't answer that question, because as of right now, Cam Thomas is not supposed to be starting tonight. He's projected to not start. I also think there's some weird Joe Harris stuff out there. Like, so Joe Harris demanded a trade, by the way, because he hates Dorian Finney-Smith, which I think is really weird. I don't know what's happening to this team in Brooklyn. It's like they're running a preschool team. They let these little kids run, whatever. What do they say? Don't let the whatever run the asylum. The crazy people run the asylum. It's just bizarre. What is the matter with this team? I don't know. It's just very, very, very strange. And by the way, Cam Thomas, how do you not start this guy? Like, I mean, I get that he's projected not to start. I get that he scored 40 whatever the other night, 44. The 44 night he came off the bench. But, like, he's been the only reason they've been in games at all. And I don't know why you wouldn't keep going with him. Now, he's not going to keep doing what he's been doing, because he's made 11 out of his last 16 threes. He's gonna continue to be aggressive. He's just not going to be able to make this many shots. It's just, there's no way it's sustainable. But you don't need him to. He's 5,200. If he's 6,500 on FanDuel, then you can decide to fade him over there if you want to. I'm not fading him on DraftKings. So I can't answer the Nets bench value, because we don't have any idea who's starting. I'm the only guys I know who will start probably are Sumner and Claxton. Everybody else I feel is iffy, and even Royce O'Neal, who starts all the time, could, if they're gonna be insistent on starting Simmons, they could move Cam Thomas into the starting lineup for O'Neal or Harris or something. There's a lot of things that could happen there. If this game was in Phoenix and they didn't play last night and he wasn't coming off of another injury, I would have played TJ Warren tonight. Just throwing that out there. Midday downgrades are about 90% the guys out. Literally about that high. You don't worry about it for guys who play every game, like Anthony Edwards. That'll happen sometimes, but midday downgrades are absolutely, you should treat them more as out than in. You'll make more money doing that. And even if it was only 50%, you'd make more money doing that, because speculation, it's not like Zach LaVine can't get there if DeRozan plays tonight. You know what I mean? It's not like some of these other plays that we're going to use can't get there without it. The ones that are going to have a hard time without it is like guys like Christian Braun, who might get some run if Murray was out. Those kind of guys, you kind of do need them out. Maybe you could say that about Kobe White also, but really that has to do a lot with Caruso as well. So that's a really, really strange one. Anyway, guys, keep firing in questions. It's going to be hard to make a lot of decisions without starting lineups and any more information. I mean, literally, I have a Q tag on, like, is there anyone who's playing who's like a good spend up that doesn't have a Q tag on them tonight? Like John Morant, I guess, Shea, who I'm not really interested in either of those guys, obviously. I'm not going to play Booker on his first game back. I do think Trae Young, if Murray's out, is going to be my other guy. Right now, I am playing LeBron and Jokic on DraftKings together, and I have some very uncomfortable value. But the thing is, I can't really adjust it fully. I just can't find the right prices, and Jalen Suggs makes more sense to me at 3,600 than the other guys do, unless we knew Murray was out and that somehow Braun. I actually still think Christian Braun would be a little bit of a wild card play, but I think that he's a reasonable one if he's out. I don't care about, you're not worried about pivoting off Murray. I have 0 Murray lineups, so that doesn't mean anything to me. It's about the other guys you're going to play. I have no interest in Murray tonight, so I think he's fine as always. I think everybody on Denver I can make a case for, but I'm not like trying to play Jamal Murray, so I don't need a pivot from him. And Giddey, you're right. If you do have to, Giddey's a completely reasonable pivot. Pay up for Shark. Who's Shark? I don't know what that question is. Phoenix Suns and Arizona Wildcats 2023 champs. Yeah, good luck to you. Why don't the Suns try and get in the playoffs first, and we'll see what happens. Suns may not even make the playoffs right now. Shea is not interesting to me. I would rather play the other guys. He's fine. It's a good matchup for him. I would rather play everybody else than him. Davis, I have rated just behind LeBron. I think he's a fine play. Yeah, I have no problem with Anthony Davis. I have him ahead of Shea for what it's worth. But I'm not like trying to play Anthony Davis. In fact, I think that playing LeBron is really like I have 100% LeBron in all my lineups. So I have no lineups without LeBron. It doesn't matter if you're in fifth. Look at the games. It doesn't matter. If you're a 3-game losing streak away from being 20th. No, I'm kidding, 12th. It doesn't matter if you're in fifth. And of course, yes, they're probably going to make the playoffs. If you really think the Suns team has any chance to actually win a title, I think that you're trying to trick yourself into believing something that's impossible. I really think it's so hard for this Suns team to win a title. And by the way, they may not even have DeAndre Ayton after today. There's some blow it up stuff they had. They've been playing better lately, to their credit, but the Suns, I can get behind the Warriors winning the title this year. I can't get behind the Suns winning the title. What do you mean your combo of youth and experience? What does that mean? What is the experience? You have one of the losingest players in postseason history in Chris Paul. Yeah, don't know what else to say. Pretty much the James Harden before there was James Harden is Chris Paul. You think that DeAndre Ayton's the third best center in basketball to you? Yes, they are trying to trade him, by the way. That's not an unconfirmed report. That's a confirmed report that they're in serious talks with Dallas right now to trade him. So absolutely there's a potential chance they're trading DeAndre Ayton. Also, DeAndre Ayton has been terrible in real life this year. Forget numbers. Numbers don't mean anything. Dorian Finney-Smith is in many ways a more valuable player than DeAndre Ayton is. Okay, let's see. The Mavs players yesterday. Yeah, he didn't play how did you get burned by the Mavs players? They went nuts. Like Hardy had 45 fantasy points, and Josh Green, who I talked about, and he was like 3% owned, had 41? I don't know. I don't know how the Dallas guys burned you yesterday. I do like CJ on FanDuel, my man K9. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier in the show. I like the guys who I like better on FanDuel are Brunson, McCollum, Zach LaVine. I'm finding it a little bit. LeBron is a much better play on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings. Well, much better point per dollar. I love LeBron on DraftKings because no one's going to play him, which is just crazy to me. It was, you know what happened? It was like Kobe's last game, and they hiked his price up to like $8K or something at the time because he was only playing like limited minutes. And I remember he was, I want to say he was 40% owned, Kobe, on his last game ever. And I thought that proved that everyone was a complete moron. That, and this is LeBron thing is not quite the same situation, but when you have things like this, I'm always going to sink or swim with it. You're always going to sink or swim with the guys who have a real motivational reason, game, everything. And this is breaking the all-time NBA scoring record. Don't you want to do that in a win? So that's why I love the Lakers to win today. I love LeBron to score over 40 real-life points. And I think that those make a lot of sense to me. I think that's a really interesting parlay if you can find it anywhere, to have LeBron go over and the Lakers just win. Hartenstein on FanDuel, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I'm a little on Hartenstein tilt because I was very into him earlier in the year, and I was really disappointed in sort of how they used him and what was happening. But he's been really good lately. Hartenstein is a better play on DraftKings, I think, than he is on FanDuel. I mean, he's better suited for FanDuel, and it's a good matchup. He's a good play on both sides. I'm just not using much of him, but I think he's a good play on both sides, to be honest with you. I actually am going to throw out a Jericho Sims lineup or two just for maximum weirdness. Let's see what else. What is this? I don't understand what the. I don't know. But so teams are after guys, like teams were after Kyrie Irving. What does that to do with anything? Like, I honestly don't understand the point you're trying to make here. Just feels like weird kind of trolling. Manitas. So I'm just guessing you're trolling a little bit. Sumner is good on both sides. And if it doesn't work, I don't care. It's the right thing to do. Play Sumner, play Cam Thomas on DraftKings. Just do it. Don't if it beats you, it beats you. Like I'm not avoiding that. I'm not taking away guys who all they do is 8 and 10x their salary every game, and because I'm worried about Ben Simmons coming back, give me a break. Ben Simmons is not going to get in the way of my lineups tonight and playing some of these guys. I wonder how many people out there. Let's do a little poll with you guys. How many of you guys think LeBron? Just write yes or no. Does LeBron break the record tonight? Drop it in the chat. Kobe, I mentioned that one earlier. So I think there's a good chance he plays 0 minutes. I think there's a really good chance. I think there's a very real chance that he plays 0 minutes. I think there's a better chance that he plays 12 minutes. I think there's an outside chance that he plays 20 minutes. That's where I have TJ Warren tonight. So I don't think any minutes, like the minutes projection on him, I think is 15. That's very generous considering he's played 11. If it was in Phoenix, if he was going back to Phoenix, and by the way, he did have a good game when he went back to Phoenix. I think that was the most minutes he played this season. This is against Phoenix, but it's at home. I think he's an interesting large field play. I'm just not getting to it, but it fits the kind of thing I'm talking about, the uncomfortable value. And who else does is Patty Mills. Patty Mills didn't do it last night, but these guys played 1 million minutes last night. Who didn't play 1 million minutes was Patty Mills and TJ Warren. So I think you could take some shots there. Claxton is fine on paper, not a good matchup statistically, but it's fine. I have 0 Claxton for what it's worth. Let's see, what else do we need? How many points does he need? He needs 36, Jolly. He needs 36 to break the record at home. So let's see. Jolly says no before he knew how many points he needed. MJ says yes. K9 says yes. Kobe says no. Kobe says no. Kobe, I'd love to hear you explain that one. I would have thought for sure. LeBron is a narrative-driven guy. You don't think he's going to go out against one of the weaker defensive teams that plays the fastest tempo in basketball and be able to get 36? I think he gets there. Westbrook is not in play for me. No. You could argue that he's just an eternally a good flyer to take here and there, but I have no logic to see why you play Westbrook tonight. All right. Let's see what else is in there, guys. Keep firing on things on in there, and we'll keep going. No, he needs 36. Let's see. All-time leading scoring list. We'll pull it up because we've got a minute. Scoring list NBA. Yeah, LeBron is now. Let me just double check. Why don't they have it written here? That's really weird. I'm on the all-time. Oh, there it is. Yeah, 35. So 36 breaks the record. So he needs 35 to tie it. Aaron Wiggins, I'm playing some of. Jalen Williams, I'm playing some of. With Jalen, no Y Williams, but I think you could play even Jalen Y Williams. The value is so suspect tonight, and the game. I'm always going to side with the guys in the later games because I'm guessing some of these guys who are questionable are going to be out, and I'm guessing some other guys might be traded that we haven't even thought of yet. So I think this is a spot where you want to try to delay the value. I'm going to have to try to get creative and do something with my Suggs because he's my only guy in my early games in that early game that I'm using for value. And then I'm using 2 Knicks, but not for value, kind of for value. I'm using Grimes for value on FanDuel, and I'm using RJ Barrett. I'm sorry, not RJ Barrett, Jalen Brunson on FanDuel. I agree with 100% what you're saying. Let's see, Kareem's there so they can stop the game, make a big ceremony out of it. So that's the only other argument is the Bucks thing with Kareem, but I don't know for sure that Kareem would even necessarily agree to it. He probably would. He's been sort of adversarial to say the least. You're a Laker fan, you know that he's not always on board with everything he's doing, and he kind of got a little bit blackballed from the league. He still has a little bit of resentment. But yeah, the Bucks thing seems like it makes sense. Imagine the game you break the record. What if you lose by 30? Wouldn't you rather just take care of it at home? I don't know. It is a really good question. I have friends who have season tickets, like good season tickets, and they're selling their tickets tonight for, face value. I think they're like 700, and they're selling them for 5,000 and 6,000 each. So the courtside seats for tonight's game have now gone out to $110,000. People are paying for them. So obviously, other people think that there's a chance LeBron breaks it too. And I agree exactly, but with Kobe's thing, but I just don't agree with the end result of why you got to that. I do love Kobe's takes though. He's my guy. And also LeBron is not my guy. I'm a Kobe guy. I've never been I wasn't even on the we have to get LeBron thing. I'm just trying to play this from DFS. Thank you, Zane. RJ Barrett is going to play, which makes RJ Barrett in play on both sites. Really good price, 6,300 and 6,600. I think you want to get some exposure to RJ Barrett if you're multi-entry. I think LeBron will launch. I think 30 is right around the range where he'll go. Yeah, somewhere in that range. Yeah, whatever it takes, and he probably gets an extra call or two tonight, and the Lakers probably win the game. I'm telling you, bet the LeBron. Even let's just say again though, like what if he doesn't break it tonight? So even just bet that he scores. What is the over under on his points tonight? It's probably like 29.5 or 28.5 or something. Bet him over that, and then bet the Lakers win. Yeah, so it's not like there's like a defensive stopper to guard him on the other side. Dude, Lou Dort ain't walking through those doors tonight. Actually, he is walking through the doors. He's just been doing it on the bench. Sorry, I'm just amusing myself at this point. So we got good stuff with the Barrett stuff. Thanks to Zane for that. I'm probably going to get out of here and finish building. I don't have a whole lot of other building to do, so I will be in Discord, happy to answer questions as they come up once we get more news. What would be really sickening, what if LeBron goes the exact opposite way and just sits tonight? No way it's going to happen because the whole point is to get it on this homestand, but like it's pretty hilarious. I just got the DraftKings alert, LeBron questionable headlines, the long list of questionable players. I mean, if we think LeBron is questionable tonight, then he's all, I mean, how real of a questionability can this be? I don't know, man. I can't see why he's not playing. I don't know how he doesn't play tonight. If he doesn't, like, I don't know. I've been really good in the past with getting, like, LeBron is a guy I never played in DFS. Hardly ever, because he was always over-owned, over-projected, and didn't have the same ceiling as some of these other guys that were realistic. And it works out great for me. What's also great is that when everyone else catches on to that later in the year, LeBron becomes the best DFS play because he still has the upside to get there, and he's become so low-owned. Anyway, Hardenstein we already talked about. I think he's fine on both sides. Barrett's in. We got to stop questioning with this Barrett. We got it written here. We talked about Barrett. TJ, sometimes I wonder if you're saying things, you're writing things, but you're not listening because we just talked about RJ Barrett being in and being a good play on both sides. Nothing is, I talked about the guy. I've talked about all these things, I think. So I think I'm probably going to bounce. I think LeBron takes care of it tonight. I think he has 40 real life points and the Lakers win. So I'm playing LeBron. Maybe it kills me. Maybe it wasn't. His price on DraftKings is so uncomfortable that that's why I had to play him with Jokic, because even if he goes off, like Jokic still probably outscores him a good percentage of the time here. So I kind of like the idea of playing both of them together. I just hate the value that we've got around it. Anyway, I'm going to be in Discord the rest of the night. For those of you guys, I'm going to post this thing. Anybody who bets regular sports, you better sign up for free for Better Takes now, because this is going to be something people are going to have to pay for, and you're going to have it for free. And you won't see all the value of it right away, but we're about to have it where you can load every bet you've ever made. It'll tell you exactly how you do at every single type of thing. Western Conference, Eastern Conference, this type of point spread in this format, betting home, road, overs, unders, exactly where you should be betting and what you should be betting. Really check this out. I'm gonna put a link to the Better Take server in here. It's a new thing we've been working on for a while on the back end, and it's awesome. To answer the Ingram and CJ question, the answer is yes. I like both of them. Favorite Magic and Pelican on DK. It's Brandon Ingram for the Pelicans, and sadly, I don't really like any of the Magic because they're all priced. They just have too many guys. The only one I'm playing is Jalen Suggs because of the value. To answer that question, I had some Clay and some Poole. Not some Clay and some Poole. I had all Poole and some Clay. Yeah, so I had, still didn't do me good enough. Oh, nice, Jimmy. All right, buddy, way to go. Love that you came in first. We're gonna start posting all these. We're still just, we're just past the beta testing thing, so we're just getting into it now. But I suggest you guys do check it out. DeRozan ruled out. Okay, there it goes. I told you guys this was gonna happen. Gonna have to wait for things to update. Banchero, look, it's fine. I'm just not playing these guys. I'm not playing the Magic tonight. So all of their guys are fine. None of them except for Suggs am I playing right now. Cam Thomas, yes. Okay, all these questions are things we've gone over. Just watch the show. Yes. I'm going to get back to my builds, and I'm going to talk about what DeRozan being out. DeJounte Murray in. Thank you, Zane. That's very helpful. DeJounte Murray in. So off of the Atlanta guys for me for the most part. Don't mind if you want to take a shot still at Trey, but I'm not going to do it. And then we'll talk about the DeRozan stuff in the Discord because I don't know how to go through it all before we have all the projections and starting lineups, whatever, and et cetera. So anyway, guys, good luck to everybody. And I'll see you guys in the Discord. And hopefully we will see some screenshots by the end of the night. We want screenshots. We want wins.